On January 17, 1993, Don Shula's Dolphins were where they wanted to be, competing for the AFC Championship and a right to play in Super Bowl 27. As they had all season, the Dolphins displayed a flair for the spectacular. The Dolphins were playing for more than points. They were playing to prove their point, that Miami is once again one of the NFL's elite teams. Truth be told, it was a frustrating afternoon. What could have been the day of the Dolphin instead became a day of near misses. It's a champion's torment to come so near a goal only to have it fall through your fingers. But the Dolphins will be back, make no mistake. The 1992 season was a harbinger of bright days ahead because the Dolphins are a team of togetherness, tenacity, and talent.
Drive a nail into the coffin right here. Marino, play fakes, bootleg, rolls to his right, throwing deep upfield, man down there, touchdown to Mark Cooper.
Mark Higgs is on the cusp of greatness. Rookie Marco Coleman proved to be an impact player and helped ease the load of Jeff Cross. Troy Vincent was another rookie with potential who consistently made the plays, while Brian Cox remains a punishing All-Pro.
Holy Toledo, what performance and intensity.
The 1992 Dolphins flew to the ball and flew through the air in a season of unqualified success. A season which saw them win the AFC East, and best of all, a season which makes it clear the Dolphins are only one step away. The 92 Dolphins traveled to Cleveland for their season opener, where Dan Marino and the offense cruised in the fast lane. Mark Higgs' 7-yard scamper gave Miami a 14-point lead, but with under 2 minutes to play, a would-be Monday night mauling became an early season test. Mark Bavaro paid the price for giving the Browns the lead, but with 75 seconds to play, Dan Marino made sure it didn't last. 4 consecutive completions had the Dolphins poised for a win. A determined Mark Higgs did the rest. The following week, the Dolphins returned to Joe Robbie for the home opener. Outside, fans were already singing the team's praises. Inside, the Dolphins danced all over the Rams.
Everybody set in tight up front. Here's Marino, bootlegs, rolls to his right, throws in the end zone, wide open. For the touchdown is Farrell Edmond. Back on the baseline of the end zone. Backs are split. Marino straight backdrop in the pocket. Looks, throws deep to the near side. Down there. It is caught for a touchdown by Mark Duper. Super duper.
2 first-quarter touchdown passes were all the points Miami would need, as the defense simply fleeced the Rams.
Receiver spread to either side. He will throw it. Back in the end zone. He's being rushed. And they sack him. The ball is fumbled.
What a rush. Brian Cox almost sawed Jimmy Everett in half.
Brian Cox's 2 sacks were the perfect complement to the Dolphins' 2-0 start. A week later against the Seahawks, Cox again led the defensive charge against enemy signal callers.
Back he goes to throw. Pressure on him in the pocket. Pumps once. He's going to have to eat it from behind. The ball is stolen away, and the Dolphins have come up with it. David Griggs took the ball right out of the hands of Stauffer, the quarterback.
We got to have that at 14 and 15 now. We need runs. We got to have some room. Knock them off the ball when we got a shot at it. Stay in our face. Come on, let's go.
The Dolphins heard and heeded. The defense's heads-up play was bettered only by a headstrong Dan Marino. Who, despite a concussion, knew what to do. Still, it was Scott Mitchell's first career pass which gave the Dolphins a first down. and set the stage for Dan Marino. Trailing by 5 points with just over 2 minutes remaining, Marino delivered.
He throws for the corner of the end zone. Man down there. It is touchdown! Touchdown! Going to Fred. Money in the banks.
3 consecutive wins, including 2 fourth-quarter comebacks on the road, was cause for celebration and concern for the rest of the AFC East. By the time the Dolphins arrived at Rich Stadium, it was clear how big a splash the Dolphins' early season exploits had made.
All the attention you get when you're undefeated. Big, prime time.
Time to get busy. Here go what we see, what we made of, baby.
Let's go. Let's go. It's gonna be a dogfight out there. It's gonna be a dogfight. All over him. Look him in the eye, challenge your butt, make it happen.
Miami made it happen all day long, and it was the newest Dolphin who made it happen first. Newly acquired tight end Keith Jackson's all-out effort was a harbinger of things to come.
I saw that boy, I said, I'm taking this, I'm going for the zone. I saw that red, I said, I'm going for the zone.
Jackson wasn't the only receiver to put a spin on things. The Bills were befuddled and kept off balance as Dan Marino distributed the ball to 7 different receivers. And while the offense was scoring points at a breakneck pace, the defense was committed to breaking Buffalo's back.
Let's go, Jimbo. We need 6. Let's do it. Come on. Let's go offense.
By day's end, the Dolphins had forced 5 turnovers. But it was a force of 1 named Louis Oliver who stole the show by punctuating punishing hits with 3 picks. Oliver's record-tying 103-yard return capped a 37-10 Miami rout, and best of all, had the Dolphins alone atop the AFC East.
We riding them Buffalo all the way back to Miami. We on Buffalo back. We on that back. Yeah.
The Dolphins were riding herd and riding high as they returned home to face the Falcons. Having never lost to an NFC team at Joe Robbie was good incentive to win. Mark Higgs proved a potent place to start.
The far side of the field. Here's the snap. Give off to Higgs. Wide open hole. The 10, 5. Touchdown, Miami. Beautiful gaping hole over the right side.
2 Falcon touchdown passes erased the Dolphin lead. The defense would not surrender a third.
Miller back to throw. He fires. Intercepted. This is going to go for a touchdown by Vesty Jackson. Vesty Jackson makes the big play the Dolphins needed, took it away from Mike Pritchard. He gambled, and he won.
Vesty Jackson's timely interception return cut the deficit to 3 points and started the comeback. And as the fourth quarter began, it was time for Dan Marino to finish it. In a total team effort, Tony Martin got Miami close. Then Tony Page paved the way for Higgs' score.
Here's a give off to Higgs outside of the right, touch for the end zone. He's got a touchdown.
Yet another come-from-behind win kept the Dolphins undefeated and undaunted. A week later, they simply pulverized the Patriots. And while the Pats could manage only 18 yards on the ground, Miami moved the ball at will. Hugs for Higgs were only appropriate. Dan Marino, on the other hand, was untouchable.
Fires deep, man open, Clayton, 10, 5, touchdown Dolphins.
As he tied an NFL record with his 17th game of 4 touchdown passes.
In the end zone, caught, touchdown to Keith Jackson. 11-yard line, first down. Marino back to throw, in the pocket, pumps once, loops for the end zone, caught by Jackson for a touchdown.
At 6-0, the signs were unmistakable. The Dolphins were a superb football team. There was every reason to believe win number 7 would come quickly. Instead, everything went wrong. Uncharacteristic mistakes cost Miami the game. The next week, against the Jets, the mid-season melees continued. Losing to a superior team is hardly pleasant, but the Dolphins were hardly the inferior team, and they were determined to prove it when they traveled to Indianapolis to face the Colts. Evidence of the Dolphins' superiority was as ample as it was incontrovertible.
Here's the snap on the shotgun. Back is George. In the pocket, under pressure, now moves to his right. He's going to run with the ball. This consumes time. And he fumbles the ball. And the Dolphins come up with it at the 39-yard line.
The defense punished the Ponies, recording 4 turnovers en route to their first shutout in 6 seasons. The Dolphins' offense was as explosive as the defense was stout. Over 200 yards rushing, 107 by Higgs, was more than enough to overwhelm the Colts.
Baxton and I. Higgs is the tailback. Marino gives to Higgy over the right side. He strips a tackle. He's in the end zone for the score. Running over people, cut back to his left at the 1, and lunged into pay dirt.
It seemed the Dolphins had regrouped just in time for a Monday night showdown against the Bills. The stakes were high, first place in the division, and so was the hype, as the Dolphins celebrated the 20th anniversary of the legendary 1972 undefeated squad. Early on, the 1992 team looked every bit the equal of their unparalleled peers, and ready to reclaim the top spot in the division, as Dan Marino completed his first 11 passes.
Marino from the gun. Here's the snap. Back he goes to throw. They're after him on the blitz. He moves to his left, throwing deep. Got a man down there. It is caught. Down at the 20, 15, down to the 10. Inside the 10 goes Mark Duper. Greg Beatty goes in motion. Here is the play fake. Pass to Beatty. Touchdown. The man in motion. Post pattern right underneath the crossbar. It's been mostly all Dolphins in this first half. Clayton in motion to the near side. Marino drops to throw. He looks under pressure. He fires in the end zone. Man down there. Touchdown!
It wasn't enough, as a valiant effort became just another loss. But if anyone was concerned that the season was about to take an about face, they needn't have. Because the following week, Dan Marino stared down the specter of defeat by opening the offense up.
Snap, back he goes to throw. In the pocket. He will loft it downfield. Man down there. It is caught by Freddie Banks.
With the score tied, the Dolphins were concerned, but not cornered. As Marino took stock of the situation, then took control. In a sublime example of leadership, Marino deftly guided the Dolphins into field goal range.
This will be a 52-yard attempt. Scott Mitchell to hold. If he makes it, the Dolphins win. If he doesn't, we go into OT. Here is the snap. Good snap. Set down. Kick is on its way. He's got the distance on it. It's gone! The Dolphins have won the ball game, 19-16, although there's 2 seconds.
Pete Stoyanovic's clutch kick gave the Dolphins their 8th win in high drama. The next 2 weeks would prove the low point of the season. Consecutive losses to the Saints and 49ers could have ended the Dolphins season. A lesser team may have lost heart after the lapse. But the 1992 Dolphins were more than just talented. They were determined. And in Week 15, the Dolphins found just the ticket to turn the tide of the season. Don Shula set the course. Miami's defense set the tone. The Dolphins dismantled the Silver and Black's attack with a frenzy of ferocity. Limiting the Raiders to a paltry 150 yards of offense was only half the story, as J.B. Brown added insult to injury.
3-0. Kim Brown in motion. Play fake by Schrader. Back he goes to throw. Goes for the sideline. Intercepted by Brown. He's going to score. Down to the 10. 5. Touchdown, Miami.
On offense, the big play returned, and the Dolphins never looked back.
Backs are split. Here's a flea flicker coming up. Marino juggles the ball around. Got a man downfield. Duper. He's got it. Touchdown.
Flea flicker touchdown.
Miami's 20-7 victory did more than snap the Raiders' winning streak in Miami. It brought the Dolphins a step closer to the playoffs and served notice that the Dolphins were back. A week later against the Jets, the Dolphins were again the focus of prime time. The intensity at Joe Robbie was palpable.
If you step on the field, it's going to get hit tonight. Let's go, baby. Come on, let's get this thing started.
The stakes were clear. A win meant a playoff berth. A loss, well, the game plan didn't include such a contingency.
4th and 2. Marino, long count at the line of scrimmage. Back he goes, looks, fires across the middle, caught for a first down. And it's going to go for a touchdown as he broke away from the tackler. Excellent play by Mark Clayton.
Mark Clayton's catch and run gave the Dolphins an early lead. The Dolphins' defense gave the Jets a headache. But while the hitting was liberal, so too was the Jets' play calling. And as the 4th quarter started, the Dolphins were looking at the short end of a 17-10 score. The Dolphins were down, but not daunted.
It's on the 3rd down. Yeah. When I go 5-man, you know, or if I go 5-man 86, it changes the second.
On 4th and 2, the Dolphins declined to play it safe.
Play of the game, perhaps, for Miami. Here it is. Back he goes. Fires across the middle. It is caught. 50, 45, 40. Foot race. It's going to be won by the Dolphins. 10, 5. Touchdown for Tony Martin. And there are no flags. What a great
Tony
call.
Martin's spectacular play could have tied the score, but a missed extra point kept the Dolphins down by a point. But Miami kept the faith. With just over a minute to play, Dan Marino began yet another 4th quarter comeback drive, his 5th of the year, and the most critical. With seconds to play, a single point separated the Dolphins from the playoffs.
One can only wonder about the demon circling around in Pete Stoyanovic's head.
Stojanovic, Mitchell awaits the snap. Here it is, good snap, set down. Kick is on its way. It is gone!
for this football team.
Pete Stojanovich's clutch kick capped the most dramatic comeback of the year. But more importantly, it gave everyone reason to believe there would be another game at Joe Robbie. The Dolphins were playoff bound and had a chance at their first division title since 1985. In the regular season finale in Foxborough, the Dolphins continued their incredible march toward a division title. Despite sub-freezing temperatures, the Dolphins sweated for more than 57 minutes before tying the score and sending the game to overtime. It was there that Pete Stoyanovich was again called on to decide matters. Don Shula's 300th regular season win was sweet. Sweeter still, the Dolphins were AFC East champs. Indeed, the Dolphins were going forward full tilt, and although the South Florida sun had yielded to rain, only the Chargers would get soaked on this day. Whether they were inspired by the crowd or something from within, the Dolphin defense played their game of the year.
He floats a long pass. It is knocked away, out of the hands.
Troy Vincent's transformation from raw rookie to polished playoff performer was a microcosmic representation of the team. Grace under pressure, pride in performance.
Humphrey straight back drop, into pocket, fires deep across the middle, intercepted by Vincent.
Of course, games only turn on turnovers if an offense can convert them into points. Don Shula was determined to waste no opportunity.
Well, let's see what they come up with now. Here's the play fake. Marino swings a pass, caught by Page for a touchdown.
Miami's defense was as relentless as the rain, and not satisfied with only one turnover.
Here's Humphrey back to throw. In the pocket, has all day, fires it. It is off the hands and intercepted by the Dolphins.
Vincent's second interception was quickly followed by the Dolphins' second score.
The Dolphins smelling touchdown again.
Marino, quick grab. Page deeper, throws for the corner of the end zone. Keith Jackson, touchdown.
Opportunistic proved to be the theme of the day, because on their next possession, Brian Cox showed why he is an all-pro.
Right, first down Chargers with 1:02 and one timeout left to go in the half. Humphreys rolls back to his right.
It appeared to be a game of one-upsmanship between the Dolphins' defense and offense.
It's the third intercept of the ball game on young Mr. Stan Humphreys.
Loads of time to score again for Miami.
Snap to Dan, back he goes to throw. In the pocket, deep up the middle. Man down there, Jackson, touchdown!
The Dolphins were making it look easy. No mean feat in a playoff game. But they were taking nothing for granted.
We can't get too happy yet because we know they can come back. So we got to keep on playing. We're going to keep on playing. Y'all keep on playing.
They probably could have played forever, because Miami was having fun and simply running away from the Chargers.
Kramer, hole on the outside, turns the corner, eludes a tackler to 20, 15, 10, down to the 5. He scores!
Indeed, what a run, and what a season. A year after missing the playoffs, the Dolphins had 12 wins, a division title, and come within an ace of the Super Bowl. In a season of extraordinary achievements, the Miami Dolphins rediscovered their winning tradition and earned the right to be called champions.